Hello, and happy Thursday. It is happy Thursday. So excited to be here. Welcome. If you don't know me, I'm very happy to welcome you. My name is Meliss-Ep. I'm an online marketing strategist to coaches and healers. And if you're tuning in on Facebook page, say hello in the comments. If you're listening to the podcast Marketing Tips with Meliss, so great to have you in and listening. Today, what I want to do is talk to you about planning, because it's important. It's important when you build a business that you're planning. It's important that you have a plan to follow and you're not just throwing spaghetti on the wall and hoping for something to work, hoping for something to stick, hoping for someone to bite, someone to buy. Hoping and hoping and hoping is not a plan. It's not a strategy. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about planning because it's something I do very well. Some would say too well. And in business, it works very well. So as you're coming on in, say hello, pop a hello in the comments so I know who's on. And thank you for joining me today. So let's talk about planning. As a marketing strategist, I'm an excellent planner. It's literally what I do. And by planning, I mean planning ahead. Not planning 5 minutes ahead, but planning very far in advance, planning ahead. And that's actually a pitfall for many people. Many people don't know how to do that. They don't realize that they need to do that, and they just feel stuck. And so what happens is, for example, people come to me in January ready to launch a health program and don't even realize that they should have been starting in November to create the momentum so that when January comes and you're ready to launch, you've got all these people lined up. Maybe you have a wait list of people in the door, but deciding to make a plan for something that's next week is not going to be an effective marketing strategy. And as we know, the marketing that you do now is the sales that come in later. So if you're hoping to make a sale today or a sale next week into your program or your offering, you have to look, did you do the marketing beforehand? Maybe sometimes 90 days beforehand to get that to a point where you can start to launch and have people at the door. So really important that you understand the timeline that it takes for that marketing to build up that momentum before you get into the sale. And a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people forget about it. So I hate to tell you that if you have a program that you want to launch next week or even in the next 2 weeks, more often than not, you are late to the game. The only exception to that is if you have lots of money and lots of support. So if you have a big team and everyone on the team can pull together and help get things out, or you have a lot of money that you can invest into the business, into ad spend budget, or into outsourcing more things so more people can have more hands on deck, that would be the only exception. And that usually only happens when you're at a point in your business where you have enough income coming in and you have a big enough team to help you build, that launching something quickly is not going to be a detriment to the rest of the business falling apart. And also you have warm leads in the pipeline so that it's easy to launch something to people who are already ready to buy. But if you don't have a lot of money or you don't have a big team, then you do have to realistically think, how long will it take to do all these things? And I finished planning out my January back in October, and I have planned out February back in November. I'm always 3 months ahead. And I'm not talking just about content, although I do want to talk to you about content in a minute, but I'm also talking about the promotions, the things that I'm going to launch. And my promotional calendar needs to be in line with my content calendar. And a lot of people skip out on that. A lot of people have their content planned out, and then they're like, oh, I should do a launch one day soon. Or they have their launches planned out and they don't realize that in order to make sales, they have to have their marketing set up and ready to go. And that is the content creation and the planning. So these two things really go very well together, and it doesn't work unless you do them together, the promotional calendar and the content calendar. I usually plan out my content and what I'm launching and my promotions and what the year is going to look like a quarter in advance. So at least 3 months in advance. When I plan out my content 3 months in advance, it is so strategic. I know what I'm going to say. I know who I'm going to say it to. I know where I'm going to post it. I know who's going to respond to it, who is, what that content that I'm creating is meant for, who it's meant for, who are the people that I want it to connect with. And so it's very strategic process. And I do that in advance so that I can spend my day to day with my one-on-one clients and my group coaching clients. And I do that because it's important that I can truly focus on the success and transformation of my clients. And if I have to also think about what I'm promoting and what I'm launching and the content that I'm putting out and where I'm posting what on which platform and in my group and on a business page and here, there, and everywhere, then I'm no longer focused on my clients. And then they're not going to reach the success. So it's really important to be strategic and to be planned out so that you can really focus on your clients and they will have success, which success breeds more success. If you have clients that are having a lot of success, you can get social proof, you can get testimonials, and that fuels more success later on down the line. So if you were not one of the early birds that got everything in order and you're ready to launch something next week, I want you to hold your horses and think about, let's be more strategic so that we can have a better success rate in our launch. So I have some advice for you. Whatever happened in 2020, let it go. It's over. It's done. It doesn't matter. Whether you skyrocketed your business or your business totally bombed, it's irrelevant. Today, start today. What you want to do today is think about where you want to go in the future. Don't look back, just look ahead. Wipe that slate clean. You have a fresh new slate here in 2021, and you can start doing things differently. You have to look back at what you did just to say that worked, I'm going to do more of it, or that didn't work, and I'm going to change things up. Other than that, start fresh and new today. And you will make a world of difference in your business if you go with that mentality, that mindset. Also, I want you to show up. I want you to figure out what systems are missing from your business. Where are the gaps? Is it that you don't have enough leads in the door? Is it that you have leads in the door, but nobody is closing in on your programs? Is it that you don't know how to do a launch? Is it that the technology is hard for you and you really no idea what to do? Is it that you're not understanding the messaging? So you're not connecting to your clients. You're not sure what to post, where to post, what to say that really draws in the clients and connects them to the solution that you have and turns them into sales, like converting your content into clients, or any of those systems and more. Maybe you don't know how to calculate your money. Whatever it is that's bothering you, that is what you work on and create a system for so that it no longer affects you negatively and you have a positive impact on your business. Also, I want you to show up and start posting consistently. Minimum 1 time a day, 2 times a day better. Just try to post consistently. And if you're not sure what to post, where to post it, when to post it, or how to say it, I have great news for you because I have a workshop coming up and I want you to listen because it's the first time I'm doing this workshop and it's what I literally do in my business. I've developed a strategy that works to plan out your content long term so that you can focus on your clients and you can strategically launch in a way that is aligned with your purpose. It's not just buy this, but it actually serves your clients. And so I will be teaching that in my content strategy planning workshop live next weekend, January 15th and 16th. You can go to abundantstrategy.com/workshop to check that out. But I really want you to figure out which system is missing in your business and how you can come back in 2021 stronger, better, systematic, intentional, because that's how your business is going to grow. And showing up. Did I mention that? Show up, show up, show up, show up, even when you don't feel like it. If you feel like, I know I need to go live, I haven't been live in a while, but I'm just going to stay in bed, I encourage you to go live from bed and actually say, hey guys, I didn't feel like going live, but I'm here. I'm a warrior and I showed up, because then the next time it will be easier. And the time after that, it'll be easier as well. So I want you to show up again and again consistently, because that is the best way to be visible. And when you're visible, you're showing people that you exist. So that's the marketing side of it before we get to the sales. Hey, Amy, what does it say? I have no money, I have no team, but I need to launch by the end of the month. I am ready for a challenge. Help. Okay, launching something in 3 weeks is a big challenge. I have done it before, and I do have a team, and I do have money to invest into the business. And still, I think when I did my very first Thanks to the Clients Challenge group, I did it in a 21-day period, and it was sleepless nights, hours and hours and hours a day of working on what you need to do to launch. And I know that you have a launch of a challenge as well. So I want you to think about, how are you going to get people in? And what are you going to cover on each day of your challenge? Day 1, day 2, day 3, and what are you pitching at the end? And how are you doing that? Are you going to do a webinar? Well, then you need to write the webinar script and you need to make slides. Or how do you plan on doing it? So it is a huge, massive undertaking. No matter which way you go about it, you have email automations you have to set up. You have to know what you are actually creating in the content. Do you have a helper that can help draw in some excitement, like a community manager? Do you have a workbook that you're offering? What bonuses are you offering? Worksheets, workbooks, videos, things like that. And also the content in your challenge needs to be pieces of your main offer that you're launching. So first, decide what you're launching, that main offer, and then take little pieces out and drip them like breadcrumbs in the challenge leading up to you pitching that offer. So hopefully that helps. The best thing to do when you're overwhelmed is to come up with a to-do list of everything that needs to happen: the content, the technology, the copy on the sales pages. How are you getting people in? Create those to-do lists and categorize them by maybe technology, sales pages, like copy, images, like content that you're going to be posting, or workbooks that you're going to be creating, or slides for a webinar if you're doing a webinar. And then once you have them in categories, see how many steps there are. And if you want to go even one step further, you can take those steps and see how long each one takes for you to complete. Some of those tasks will take 30 minutes. Some of those tasks will take 4 hours. And then you take all that and you see how many hours you have worth of work divided by how many days before your launch day. And then you just plug it in. I need 5 hours on this day, 3 hours on this day. And then it's very intentional of what you're doing every single day. And if you wanted to take it even one step further, you could take your calendar, like a Google Calendar, and you can make a step-by-step of every day what you're doing. From 9 to 10, I'm working on this slide deck. From 10 to, give yourself a break. So 10 to 10:15, I have a break. 10:15 to 12:15, in that 2-hour gap, I'm going to figure out my email automation. And just do that for the whole 3 weeks so that you're very structured, very scheduled, nothing falls through the cracks, and you get it done. If this is giving you anxiety and making you feel like, oh my gosh, there's so much overwhelm here of things that I have to do, then I would revisit that and say, maybe I don't have enough bandwidth to create something that massive in that short amount of time. And if it's your very first time, it is going to take a long time. The first time that I created my challenge group was Thanks for the Clients challenge group back last April. And it took me, I think it was like 160 something hours to put that whole thing together. And so, yes, it does seem like a lot of work, but the second time I launched it, it was only, I'm pulling numbers out of my head, but I actually have these numbers listed somewhere inside of one of my other podcasts. But I think it was like 60 hours or 40 hours. The third time I did Thanks for the Clients challenge group, it only took me 10 hours to put it together. So when you're making something that you're launching and you're putting in all this effort and all this time, the truth is you want to do that so that you can repeat it, make it easy for you to do again and again and again. So you want to have that first time be that sturdy foundation, makes a lot of sense. You have all the pieces in place. It flows really well and it works so that you can bring it back and do it again the next time. If you're going to just rush it out the very first time, sorry about the noise. Someone's vacuuming and my dog's barking. If you're going to just launch it out the very first time rushed, it might be sloppy. It might not convert as well. And you might not have the success that you're hoping for, those sales at the end, because you didn't have enough time to do that marketing on the front end, which is how you warm people up. So I hope that helps. I just want you to have realistic expectations. I've launched webinars. I've launched challenge groups. I've launched workshops, all in my own business, plus in my clients' businesses. So I have a lot of experience with this. And every single step in this process of launching seems to be like, oh, it's going to be easy, or that's just an hour, or that's just 2 hours. And once you get in it and you roll up your sleeves, you realize it is actually hours and hours and hours for every little step. Every little step is one extra thing. You think you're going to load in this email and you realize, oh, first I need to connect with this thing and this technology and Zapier and this, and it becomes this massive undertaking. So really just to take a deep breath and make a full to-do list of what you need is the first step. Second step would be to time out how long each one of those things is going to take. And then the third thing is to plan it out in your calendar and see if you truly do have time for that. Okay, I hope this helps. I will be back next week live. Thank you for listening and being here. And if you have any questions, pop them in the comments and I will come back in and answer them. Have a good day. Good afternoon. Bye.